scheduled. Going? Yes! We're on. We're live.
Hey, Dave. How you doing?
Tired.
Tired. Jim
Tired.
Weekend.
Tired. I'm not bored. I'm tired. So this is technically the fourth episode of Dave and Joe Are Bored, but it really. Dave is tired. Joe is
ready to go.
Joe is ready to go. That's a long name for a show. Dave is tired. Joe is ready to go. Episode 4.
Yeah, episode 4, The Revenge.
I think 3 was Revenge. 4, we're still revenging.
No, Jaws, The Revenge, the 4th one.
Oh, gee, I can't get it.
Episode 3, 3D.
I can't get it straight, man. Michael Caine took the job to be in Jaws 3. Michael Caine only takes the jobs of movies where the name of the movie is what's trying to kill him. And so he thought Jaws 3, there was 3 Jawses that were trying to kill him. And they said, no, it's just one. And he said, well, you need to rename it. So they did. Or was it Jaws 4?
He's in 4. Yeah.
So he thought there was 4 Jawses that were trying to kill him, and they said no, it's just one. And he said, well, you better rename it. So they renamed it Jaws: The Revenge. That's a true story.
It's great behind the scenes info.
Yep. Well, everybody, welcome back. Dave and Joe Are Bored. It's another Sunday. It's been a long weekend, but we've got a guest who is ready to go. We're going to go straight to our guest because I think he's tired. And he would like to go to sleep. So there we go. So tonight we have John Sazaklis. Is John Shamalamba Ding Dong? John Sazaklis. What are we gonna do, John? Let's just bring him out. Writer, designer, artist, John Sazaklis. There we go. John, wake up, John. Oh. John. Wake up, John. Thank you.
Good morning.
Hello, John.
What show am I on again?
It's Regis and Kathy Lee.
Oh, I used to watch that with my mom in the mornings before school. But
Wasn't bad.
I thought you said something like Dave is tired and Joe's ready to go.
Yep.
I assumed you were talking about your honeymoon, but then I figured this was a private matter involved.
So that's how this is going to go, huh? That's
nice to meet you, yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into it then. How you doing, John?
I'm good.
How long?
Like I said, I don't know Joe, so maybe you might want to introduce us.
That's Joe, by the way. That's Joe. He's the co-host of Dave and Joe Are Bored, and
Hello,
often Joe's bored too. So there you go. John, I actually saw in like the old Facebook memories. I think the last time we actually saw each other was 10 years ago.
It was
Wizard World, Chicago.
Yeah. Remember Wizard Worlds? Remember towns? Remember cities?
We were just in Dayton this weekend, so.
Well, yeah, and I feel like it was Chicago right before it became Gotham City.
Let's look at some of let's take a look. Let's take a look at some of John's work.
It's in the book.
And then we're gonna
that's me hard at work.
That's you hard at work. Okay, so one of the coolest things that I think that you've been doing lately is writing a lot of these really cool pop culture little golden books that Golden's been just popping out left and right. I also like the way that you dress up as you write the books.
It's kind of like what came first, the chicken or the egg? Did I have the costume or did I get the job writing the book? Looks like we'll never know.
You know how to do a good pitch meeting, right? The Aladdin one, I mean, you can show me the world anytime.
I flew into that one, didn't I?
Oh man! And then of course the He-Man and She-Ra books, and I like your choice of your. I'm not sure
which shorts. That was back when they were asking who wore short shorts, and now we know the answer.
Nice job, Orko. I like it. And then, okay, so quick question though, about the Golden Book stuff that you do these days, because you are a Random House designer.
That's correct.
And you do a fantastic job. We've worked together a couple of times. My favorite is the summer of COVID, big, busy Adventure Bay.
We were trapped in Adventure Bay. We couldn't leave.
I always said that I was avoiding Paw Patrol like the plague, and it took a plague for me to do a big Paw Patrol book.
We certainly did, yeah. That's
Thanks.
how we spent the 2.5 years of our life.
Writing
years, anyway.
writing for Random House, writing for Golden, is that an additional thing for you? Is it part of the? Where do you fit this in to everything else they throw at you?
And they do throw a lot of things at me.
Yeah.
Whatever's not nailed to the ground, I actually steal and I bring it home. Here's my little Golden Book display case, and here's my Random House display case. No, my day job, since time and space don't have no meaning, my day job is designing and art directing all different formats in the children's licensing department. And my freelance writing is done for several publishers, including Random House, which I've been very lucky to work for them in both capacities. Because you've got it on the He-Man page, and like when I found out that, and it's funny that you brought it up because we had gotten the little Golden Book rights to do Masters of the Universe and She-Ra back when Masters of the Universe was going to become a movie and TV series, which hasn't happened yet, but it seems to still be in the works. So a lot of that stuff seems to, worked out in our favor, regardless of whether or not you were a fan 40 years ago or now. But I don't know what to say. I feel like I'm living the dream, and it must be these magical pajamas that Dave Aikins himself.
Heck yeah, man.
Fitted and made in China.
I that's the worst bribe I've ever sent a client. So there you go. So, but that's nice that you're able to do this, I guess.
I mean, like the fact that I've been doing it for over a decade, and I've built up quite a portfolio, I guess you could say, or a resume, did definitely help in landing me a job writing these. I mean, like, especially with Ghostbusters, how do you take something that I saw as a 7-year-old, loved for its humor and its horror, and then kind of like distill that into today's 7-year-old, for today's 7-year-old.
When you're doing the writing, is there any, I mean, you do such a good job with designing, and you do such a good job with writing, and here we can see some of your work actually doing layouts. Now, this was one of I have these. This was a lovely
thank you.
Series. Like some of the artists, I think this one, I liked the art style a little bit more.
Yeah, it was a design studio, a bunch of really cool guys working together, to make this happen. And this was actually the first book I wrote. Actually, lie. It's the first book I wrote that got published. The first book I wrote was Batman versus Venom. Nope, sorry. Take that back. Spider-Man versus Venom. And that was when Disney bought Marvel. So the book went on it got shelved until they worked out the rights issues as to who's going to publish what. So Batman, Gotham's Villains Unleashed was the first book I got to write that was going to get published. And I said, you know what, if this is the only book I write, I'm going to put all the bad guys in it. And I'm going to pay homage to the entrancing Dr. Cassandra, which was a 3rd season episode of Batman 1966. Where she breaks everybody out of jail, and they take invisibility. No, they had an invisibility ray gun or pills that turned them invisible. Anyway,
that's cool.
So I definitely had a vision for this book in my mind, and I drew it out, and I got to design it, I got to write it, and I got to art direct it and send it to the guys and say, this is what I want it to look like. This is where the text is going to go. This is what the characters are going to be doing. And
Yeah.
in the midst of all this, we do have to send it to the licensor and make sure they approve. But, that's just.
What's that? I don't know what you mean by that. I've never heard of that. What are licensors? I've never worked in licensing.
You didn't invent. I saw one of you had sent a personalized letter to STEVE DITKO. So.
Oh, we're getting there. That's later. So is this a series, Spider-Man series? Is this a series that you actually you illustrated?
Please hold. Wait.
There you go.
Right here somewhere.
Oh man, you're drawn to. There's too many things, John. There's too many things.
I know, and I'm running out of the shelf space.
Now these.
Hold on. This is a chapter book series that we illustrated and designed at Harper before I got to Random House with my buddy Joe Merkel. And it was black and white ink. Traditionally, I don't work digitally like you guys do. The scans that you saw.
Show it again, Joe. Show it again, John. Come on.
The scans that you guys see are in black and white newsprint.
Oh.
The news that's fit to print, and then all the pictures that come with it. So all that webbing, and all those scales were done in pen and ink, and then scanned into the computer.
That's too much work, John.
Yeah.
Well, any
to reference croc wrestling, so I could, and it was fun working on this stuff. Okay, I'll show you one more because I love me some. Yeah, that's all pen and ink.
Very nice.
On, acetate, so then I could. The webbing was on acetate, so I could. If I made mistakes, I could start all over again.
Oh man! Any goal or any dream of just moving to full-time writing or anything like that, or do you really like the balance of everything?
What's the diplomatic answer? What's the answer that you?
Well, okay. Let me change the answer to that. If you were like me and shut in, stuck in your basement or stuck in your home, and self-employed or with your own business, would you prefer solid writing, or do you really enjoy the mixture of designing and art and writing?
The designing means I get to work with artists that I normally wouldn't have gotten to work with or even get to meet, like you. If you weren't bumming smokes off of me outside the men's room at the Wizard World Comic Con, we never would have met.
You and me and Pat Broderick, right?
I did that for the kids in the audience. And but like the fact that I get to work on Super Pets, which is now, this is, how old is this? 2000, yeah, I know.
I left Hoppy in the bag and Hoppy died.
I have Bat Count and I have Hoppy. Because, how cool is a bat? Oh, look at that.
Oh, Swamp Thing. Oh, that was another John.
Swamp Thing, and he got to team up with Batman. Like, where else are you going to get to do that?
Kitty Cat. Flat. Anyway, too many books.
Merton, and they're all on the big screen now. But there's my wife. She is now canonically Mira's niece in Atlantis. And Joey and Johnny, that's me and my friend Joe. He's the one with the glasses. So his swordfish is wearing a mask to see better underwater. And then my brothers-in-laws are the evil henchfish. So yeah, in the Streaky book, my sister's in it. The village that we come from in Greece is where the royal rodent resides. So they tell you to write what you know, and I haven't gotten sued yet by putting all my friends and family.
I think the only thing
friends and foes in my books.
I think the only thing recently I think I might have gotten away with working on the Elbow Grease Little Golden Book for John Cena was that I made Elbow Grease's birthday my kid Adam's birthday.
You see? So what's it like working with John Cena and like working out with him?
Well,
you're a bit swole.
Yeah, and he's relentless about mocking me about the fact that I'm a pasty. You remember Hans and Franz?
Was Han SNL? I don't know what you're talking about.
So you also get to do your own characters for your own books. It's not all licensing.
I've also written. I'm writing a series called Boo Books, which is like Goosebumps Junior. This was my first because I got to come up with that title.
We don't have the Boo books, but we've got. So when you do these, are you a part of, like Goat on the Boat? Are you a part of the design of the character with Jess Bradley, or are you?
Again, this is my first picture book, so we're looking at something also that was over a decade ago, and I want to say I may have seen sketches. I was super excited to see Billy when he was created, but it was out of my hands. I kind of, she got hired because of her art style, so they I guess I'm assuming they were doing their jobs when they meshed our styles together, and it works out because it's silly, it's goofy, it's everything I hope to be.
But this is the question I think is fascinating, because a lot of people, when they see things like this, don't know how these things come together. Are you the Beatles or are you the Monkees, in the sense of, are you approaching a publisher with the package put together, or are you put together by the publisher?
In this case, Goat on the Boat was one of a handful of ideas that I had pitched, one of them being Astronauts, which was squirrels in space, which may already exist out there. You heard it here first, folks. Yeah, and then they told me which one they thought worked best for their Comics Land series, and that was Goat on the Boat. And the same with Boo Books. Once they get to work with me and they know like what my style is, because for me, Boo Books, it's like the stories start out scary, but there's always like a twist at the end.
That's like working with me.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, in case you didn't know, Dave's been dead all along. Again, spoiler alert.
Plot twist.
Plot twist.
Dead inside. I already knew he was dead inside.
Yes, well, that's it. And okay, so now we go into it's not all kids books. You've been doing.
No, this is books for kids of all ages, or people who are still kids at heart. And believe me, this, I mean, it's an encyclopedia. So I was one of 4 authors spread out across the globe, coming with as much knowledge as possible. And I, as a trivia, I think I wrote the section on the Hulk because I remember specifically researching what size shoe the Statue of Liberty had and if it was smaller or bigger than the Hulk's.
Did you do design work on this one as well?
No, DK has their own.
DK, yeah.
Yeah, and their books look a certain way, and obviously I had no input in that.
Now, here's a good question, though, and this is just between all of us and not the hundreds of people that watch. As a writer, artist, designer, how is it when you write and don't design, and maybe the design is maybe not
something I would have done,
maybe questionable?
Yeah, that happens. It's like giving birth to a child and then it's put up for adoption, and you watch someone else raise it from afar, and then you get the final.
Well, I think that the thing that's fascinating, though, is that for a lot of us, the illustrators, we're used to realizing that the final product has plenty of stages where a bad designer can ruin it, not only, or a bad printer, but a bad designer can slap something on and create a tangency, or just do something where you go, oh, no, but that's not our job.
It's not. And there are times where I've gotten art in that I've had to do a lot of cosmetic surgery to make it work.
Well, and that's the sort of thing where sometimes I think, for me, I prefer a designer to say, either from the start, here's your text so we can talk about it, or to say, oh man, can you move this? Because the incentive is, I want the final product to look good. I want it to, have the best design.
Not about cutting more text to let the art fit or breathe.
Yeah, and if a designer says, "Look, this is what I think will look the best," if could we just bump this, there's that point of like, yeah, just yeah, let me know, it's worth it, and as long as it's not like some weird obsessive.
That's what I like to hear.
Yep, because man, I tell you, all the times where you see something, you go, "Oh, really? That's where you put it? Okay." That's where
Has that happened to you?
Not sure what we're talking about anymore. Oh, we got
the Spider-Man journal. I would go back to the Spider-Man journal just because it's something that it's an awesome book. It's let me find it. It was when ReaderLink was doing a bunch of ReaderLink being what was once Reader's Digest, and
Reader's Digest. They went bankrupt, owing me money.
Yeah, that's probably why they went bankrupt. They couldn't afford you. But this book was fun because it's got your story, your text, and then it's got the gatefolds where you could do a lot of fun stuff with them. For the stories read. This was going to be a gig that I was going to write and design, but because of scheduling conflicts for everybody involved, the designer and the illustrator who did the doodles that weren't style guide or already illustrated. There was a lot of people working on this book to get it made before the first Spider-Man movie came out. But the fun thing is I got to work with, unfortunately, when there's movies involved, a lot of the content becomes, what's the word I'm looking for? Where they gotta, it's like, in this book I got to work with like Loki and Cloak and Dagger and Venom and Doc Ock.
Oh yeah. The licenses become very specific in what people, companies are buying, and the franchises become very, very specific. And that started way back before the movies, when DC realized that Batman should be his own license, and if you bought the DC Universe license, you didn't get Batman in that license, and if you wanted the DC Universe with Batman, you had to buy 2 licenses. Yeah. And so, you saw all these companies for a while in like the early 90s that would make products, and you go, where the heck is anything Batman? Because that would require buying 2 licenses.
Yeah. And
that's awesome.
I got to work with Miles. I got to work with a whole bunch of characters,
All righty. Let me ask you. I'm getting impatient. You got Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. You got Captain Marvel. That's great. You got people you've designed and books you've designed and artists that you've been able to hobnob with and meet. That's great. You wrote for Ben 10 on the animation show. You did some animation writing. Yeah. Okay, come on. It's Peter Porker, Spider-Ham. Now we're talking.
This is what you were getting to?
This is all I care about. I mean, the show's only an hour long, and you got to get to bed. And Peter Porker, Spider-Ham is all I really care about. I don't want this book. If you haven't bought this book, I don't care about the sounds of Grinchmas.
You don't want to hear me as the Grinch?
Oh, is that the one you actually got to do? They made you go into the recording studio and...
No, this was quarantine, and I recorded it on my phone, and I sent it to Tracy's husband, who's a sound engineer. And then they...
Okay. Oh, well, that's a high watermark in your career, isn't it? That's
very nice.
Right? And then, at no extra cost, my daughter and my wife got to sing Christmas carols as the Who's.
Joe, I think we got our Christmas episode geared up.
Oh yeah.
You know what they do? They film those in the summer, and then they broadcast them. So basically, we'll just show this again in Christmas. So there, that is awesome. But it's not Peter Porker, Spider-Ham. Okay,
is this something that you grew up? Well, no, you didn't grow up with him because you were old when he was young, right?
Yeah, Joe and I are both old. Yeah, we're old. You're getting old too. So joke's on you.
No, I meant Spider-Ham. I'm not talking about Joe.
Well,
the other hand in this conversation.
I told Dave I actually have a Spider Ham story to share, so I think I'm going to jump in with it. So yeah, I actually have a connection to Spider Ham. Why I'm sitting here right now, because my very first comic that I ever bought, which I'm sure someday we will spotlight on this show if we have more episodes, was a Marvel Tales reprint comic, and in the back it had a short Peter Porker Spider Ham backup story. So Spider Ham is part of what got me into comics, and then why 35 years later here I am.
That's awesome. That's makes me cry. So anyway, I just want to touch briefly on how much I despise Alan Batson, the artist of this book. He makes, and you can tell him this. In fact, if I can ever wake him up because he's over in England and have him on the show, I'll tell him it's to his face. He's too damn good, and it makes me not like him one bit, because this book is
worked on this.
Yeah, but it's not Peter Porker.
Your Peter Porker is my genie.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah. Somebody's having too much fun, and I'm missing out on this. But I guess I'm lazy. But when did you work on the design of this, or did you just do the writing? And who worked with helping create? Because I don't have any interior shots to show, but this book is gorgeous.
You know what? He does all the designs himself.
Oh, I hate him.
And he draws the text.
Oh, I hate him.
His layouts are pretty much like we just plug in the text when we're done. I wish I could have gotten to work on. Oh wait, this is the wrong book. Sorry. What's that? You have one right next to you, fool.
Which one?
The Spider-Man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, you may. Oh, I don't want to. I'm tired of promoting Alan just because he's friggin' awesome.
Right. So we'll send him the galleys, but sometimes he'll just he'll draw everything, and then we just gotta plug in the text wherever we find space.
Oh, dear.
Doom.
Just now I'm mad. Thanks a lot, John. You made me angry. Now it's Dave is angry and Joe is ready to go. I'm tired of
you when you're angry.
Oh well, I get depressed, so I'm the world's worst Hulk when I get angry.
So you're the Blue Hulk.
Yeah, I just get hulking, Hulk sad. All righty, that's enough of that. And I love this shot though. I love the Bat John with
Zazman.
Oh,
yeah, I actually wore that to the office.
As you should.
That's the dress for the job that you want, not the one that you have.
That's why I don't. That's why they don't let me go into an office anymore. By the way, let's do a quick plug. SazMagic.org is the Saz Magic store.
Yeah.
For signed books, and also to contact you for school appearances or Aquaman, or for whatever
1878 original.
Yeah, I think I actually have that one somewhere.
Pepsi Cola.
How's the lead taste?
Like Grandma used to make.
Oh, Saz Magic.
That's it.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thank you for plugging me.
Well, sir, you are a crazy madman, full of energy and full of life and full of enthusiasm. I think you're probably one of the most enthusiastic nerds and fans of all the fun stuff we love. And
my bat boo boo.
I tell you,
school visits, library visits, birthday parties. I love me some cake.
Oh God. Stay away from the cake. Hey, the writer guy is
I'll do anything for you got a kid that's going to school. You know how it is. Living in the city, I mean, all that space behind you is a 2-bedroom apartment in Manhattan.
That's why I live in Ohio.
Yeah.
I tell you. Well, thank you for chatting with us, my friend.
Thank you for having me. I would love to do this again, when the sun is out and then it's normal waking hours. Hey,
we did our best I did my best not to swear, so that's a start. And then after that, maybe we could bump the time to, and after. I don't like daytime TV. I'm not an Ellen. I'm a Craig Ferguson Letterman guy. So
You're not an Ellen. Well,
I'm not an Ellen. I'm not an Oprah. Maybe a Donahue guy.
No, I'm definitely a Regis, and then I got to meet him.
You meet everyone. If you follow John on Instagram, you can see how many celebrities he accosts in Manhattan.
They're the ones that stop me and say, "Are you the guy from so and so's birthday party? Were you the Batman?"
The writer, the Peter Porker Spider-Ham Little Golden Book, because that thing is gorgeous.
And I said, and you know what I say to them? I say, "Yeah, but if you'll excuse me, I got to get home and write." And they said, "One quick picture." I say, "Okay, Meryl, whatever you say."
Well, John, thanks again. We will, we'll keep working together one of these days.
We will. We'll make it happen. I mean, it's the Paw Patrol is a dog that you can't put down. So we're gonna.
You had to say that again. I will mention, and I don't have any art for it, but I know you're really, really looking forward to this one, and it's your Greek myths little golden books. Is that going to be a series?
I'm hoping, because I have pitched a series, and then again, like you said, that started out as a pitch. I did dummy covers, I did dummy interiors, I did a whole series. I have a box set planned, but I don't want to give too much of that away.
It depends on sales. I mean, they could do the first and see how it goes. But I saw the cover you
normally
listed.
If you buy books from me, it's money that goes in my pocket because I get the books and I sell them to you. But
I don't mean that you're just the only one selling them.
No, but what I'm saying is the reason I was pushing for the pre-sales is I would like the numbers to be good.
Yeah.
And then hopefully, garner a sequel or a follow-up. What would you like, the Odyssey or the Iliad? Well, one came before the other, but I like one more than the other.
I'll do the ones about Thor. How's that?
Thor. There's the classic Greek hero Thor.
I don't want the Greek ones. When you get done with the Greek ones,
can I do the Norse ones?
You give me the Norse ones. I'll do the Norse ones.
Because the pale people are your people.
Well, yeah, very much. Yes. Oh man, I don't belong in the sun. I burst into flames. I mean, you can tell there really is no difference. Our lighting is the same, and this is just the difference in how pale I am.
Your blue hues are up, and my warm hues are up.
Well, let's get all golden books, and thank you for being a friend.
Myths is the dream come true, because that's something that I birthed from my head, much like Zeus did Athena.
Well, you had talked to me about it 2 years ago, I think. And
I was looking for artists, and I knew that you could probably draw a pretty mean Laurence Olivier as Zeus, but then you'd have to clear the rights. So that dream was there.
It's Adam West as
imagine like Adam West and Linda Carter and Christopher Reeve as my pantheon.
Wow.
Michael Keaton. It's just everything. All right, sir. When does that one actually does that have a street date yet?
Yes, February 23rd, 23.
Awesome.
Or 20. It's perfect for Valentine's Day. For your belated Valentine.
Is it leap year next year?
You can get it on sale after Valentine's Day.
Oh man, thanks again, John. It's good to see you.
This was fun, Joe. I would love to, let's connect offline, and once I know more about you guys, I'll feel more comfortable.
Yeah, very nice to meet you, John.
Likewise, my friend. Enjoy the rest of the show.
We'll see you soon, buddy.
I can't wait.
All right, thanks, John.
Send me out.
Woo. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh man, he does too many things.
That was a great guest.
He does too many things. Makes me angry.
Since we had the guest, since we went right to the guest, it'll be interesting to see if anybody sticks around to watch any of the rest of our show now.
Well, they better, because this is fun. Because let's see what we're gonna just cut to. It's time. I think he's been waiting, but we're bringing in Adam. Let's bring in Adam. Adam, you've been waiting. You've been patient. But are you ready for? You ready for your food? Here we go. It's Adam's new food review. Is it chips? It better not be chips. Is it chips?
No.
It sounds similar to chips. That sounds like chips, man. Joe, do you say chips?
I hear a chip-like bag.
It's popcorn.
Oh,
A cousin of the chip.
dude, man. That's like the most unhealthiest popcorn I've ever seen in my life.
Uh-huh.
Chocolate M&M minis and
Okay, all right, let's get to it.
So I cannot see M&Ms on any of these. but there's chocolate on them.
Okay. I mean, every week this is thrilling. By the way.
The audience
So,
is waiting.
popcorn,
for his
right?
judgment.
Yeah, popcorn.
It tastes like popcorn, but there's also like it's like diluted with chocolate almost. That what it tastes like.
Diluted popcorn. With
Like-
chocolate.
If you dissolved a piece of chocolate in water and then soaked the popcorn in the water, that's what it tastes like.
Okay, but is that good?
Not really. Oh, this one has an M&M on it.
Oh,
All right, let's see. There it is.
thank God. So, one of the things I've noticed since we've been doing this is that the house is kind of filled with the memories of Adam's new food review past. Will this be something you'll finish?
Uh-huh.
Okay, it might be gone tomorrow. Well, geez, man. Thanks again, Adam.
Uh-huh.
Tom's proud of you. Smell the bag for Tom, because Tom always says, "Don't smell the bag," but
It tastes like those big popcorn tins from Christmas time.
man. All right, buddy. Well, we'll see you soon for guess what? Spoiler alert: Adam's movie review is coming up. So we'll see you soon, buddy.
Bye.
Okay.
a
All
little
right.
bit.
There he goes, and see ya. Okay.
That was a good review.
All righty. Tastes like defeat. Well, Tom. All right. Now this is our new segment. We're going to get this over really quick. Every week, I sometimes have a problem. So this is this week's What Did Dave Buy Now? So let's see here. Joe, what the hell did I buy now?
Can't wait to find out. We got another
Looks
unboxing
like
video.
it came from Target.
Okay.
I've been told people don't see me at Target as much anymore, and it's true. I don't spend as much time there. I kind of been kicking the habit, but what did I buy?
So you order it online.
And all right, I bought Eartha Kitt as Catwoman.
Ooh, very nice.
Oh, yep. That's exciting. Eartha was on clearance, and which is something that Eartha Kitt never ever would have tolerated. I've never met Eartha Kitt, but I can guarantee you that woman was a treasure, and she would have never tolerated being on clearance. So I had to buy one up to make sure that Eartha's clearance figures disappeared as quickly as possible.
Now, in that series, did they make all three Catwomen?
Well, I don't think they just came out soon with I think a Julie Newmar Catwoman, but I have an older figure of Julie, and I don't have an Eartha Kitt, so this one's gonna go
Get that closer to the camera there so we can see Eartha Kitt.
I don't know where is this camera? Is it camera 2? Is it camera 1? Oh, Eartha, and I'm not gonna say she's perfect because that's weird. But yeah, that's McFarlane figures, and they're very inconsistent. An odd Batman 66 line that has figures like Mr. Freeze with no freeze gun, even though his hand is clearly made to hold a freeze gun. So that's weird. All right, and that's another. What did Dave buy? Oh man, so proud of myself for that. Now, are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay, let me get the clock ready. Everybody loves Joe's Bob Dylan Minute. And so here we go. We're getting the clock. I got the clock. Okay, Joe, you're in control. And go.
All right. So lots of our viewers have been asking, Joe, how did you get into Bob Dylan? So I'm not really, I don't really fit the Bob Dylan, probably his main target audience. I got into Bob Dylan when I was a senior in high school in 1997. So, well past
20 seconds, Joe. Yeah, 40.
Main, I'm doing, well past Bob's main years, I guess, in the mainstream spotlight. So the way I got into Bob Dylan, I was a big Tom Petty fan. This was a poster, or this image was on a poster I had in my room in high school, and I was a big Tom Petty fan. And my older brother asked me if I had ever heard of the Traveling Wilburys. So he introduced me to the Traveling Wilburys. Here's the cover of their first album, Traveling Wilburys Volume 1. And I fell in love with the Bob Dylan songs specifically, and from there branched out into Bob Dylan. So it's definitely a strange way to get into Bob Dylan, kind of,
and that's a minute 5. I gave you an extra 5 seconds because I interrupted you rudely in there, but that's there we go. That was Joe. There you go. That was thrilling. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Like every time we know you more,
and all the fans who wrote in asking, I feel like I answered that question for them.
There you go. All right, we're back, and guess what? I said it would be soon. We're just going through. We're going through stuff here, but now Adam's back. How's the popcorn, Adam?
It's the ones with M&Ms are good.
Okay.
The other ones are not.
Oh, that sounds like you're being a little picky there, but I get you. Adam, did you watch a movie this week?
I think yes.
Was it by choice?
No.
Adam, what movie did you watch this week?
I watched ABBA, the movie.
Yeah. Wow. That's Joe, would you ever have seen this coming?
No, I did not see this coming. That's not answering the question, have I seen it? We're not to that part yet.
No, that's a whole different. Oh, man. ABBA, the movie. Adam, obviously the movie stars Annifrid, Benny, Bjorn, and Agnetha, which we learned.
That's their names?
We learned, what does ABBA stand for? It's their names in a palindrome. And what else could they have picked instead of ABBA? They could have picked
Baba. Abab.
Bab.
Bah.
Adam, did you like what was the movie? Give us a brief description of the movie, Adam.
A guy stalked ABBA around Australia.
Yes, Robert Hughes is the DJ that goes stalking ABBA around Australia to try to get an interview, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Did you like it? Did you like it?
Like is too strong.
Yeah. It took a weird turn, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I make the mistake sometimes of Wikipedia movies while they're on, and made the mistake of Wikipediaing Robert Hughes. That was bad, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because turns out he's a convicted pedophile, which then made scenes like this really, really awkward, didn't it?
Uh-huh.
Yep. I'm not laughing about that. It's just, that's what I do when it's awkward. So yeah, that was ABBA the movie. You can dance, you can shine, having the time of your life. Adams, I think your comment was that you would rather have watched Mamma Mia.
Yes, it was a waste of time that I could have spent watching Mamma Mia.
All right, well, thanks, Adam. Thanks for that. So thumbs down?
Sure, yep.
I think it's like not ABBA's fault, but I think thumbs down for Robert. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a pretty. That's not a bold statement to be. Yeah, thumbs down for Robert. All right. Well, thanks, Adam. We really appreciate. This was kind of a weird movie review. It took kind of an ugly turn there, didn't it?
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week, buddy.
Thanks, Adam.
Okay. All right. Well, I told you. This week's
Yeah.
movie review was a little
Dark turn.
weird. Oh, you know what? We totally forgot. Has Joe seen it? Joe, have you seen ABBA the movie?
The streak continues. I have not.
The 1977 Spectacular.
The streak continues. I have not seen any of the movies Adam has reviewed.
Oh man. All righty. Well, we're going to move on over. We're going to move to our next segment, Dave and Joe's Pick of the Week. All right. This is where we pick a comic book that we think you should have in your collection. Whether you have a lot of comics or not, you should run out and you get this. And we're going to start with Joe. Joe, your first one. We're going to run through this pretty quick.
Okay. So we were talking about Ditko, some Ditko stuff. So kind of a Ditko theme. And so this is one of Steve Ditko's comics that has been published with Robin Snyder over the last about 20 plus years or so of Ditko's life before he passed away in 2018, I believe. So this is Ditko Continued from 2009. You can see there. And this is what all of the comics that he's done through those years with Robin Snyder are kind of like. They're all these black and white, and they just kind of are usually like an anthology, little short stories with new little characters that he's created. This one is kind of significant because you can see there in the top left, that is Mr. A, Steve Ditko's probably most well-known creation outside of Marvel, I guess, right? I don't know. But then, so there's the Mr. A title page inside the issue, and other characters like Steve Ditko's very, he just, there's no like subtlety to Steve Ditko. So this character, for example, is named the Hero, right? And this is the Cape. Yeah. And this is the Gray Negotiator, which is the guy in the bottom right corner there. You can see, and he points out to the characters that, anytime you compromise, both sides lose.
Oh, so out of the years of Steve Ditko doing these Kickstarter and these independent published books with Robin, is this one of the best out of that bunch of just crazy Ditko-ness?
I think they're all really pretty consistent in that. I think I'd pick this one because of Mr. A. I thought would be more recognizable to people.
Oh, baby.
Well, a lot of people don't know that there's been any Mr. A appearances since like the 70s or whatever. So these comics do exist. They're out there, and you can still get them from Robin Snyder.
Yeah, and they were doing them up until Steve passed.
Yep. A couple of them came out after he had already passed away. So yeah.
Well, I'm going to keep this baby running. Oh, I love this. That's just cool.
That is
And
the
2008.
That's the back cover of that issue. Yep.
Well, we're going to go back to 1975 for my choice, and we're going to go to the very, very brief publisher Atlas Comics, which we're going to have to talk about more because Atlas was this fantastic, like, grindhouse of comics company. They were crazy. And we've got the Destructor #2. Now, Destructor, that was a book that started off written by Archie Goodwin, Wally Wood, Steve Ditko, inked by Wally Wood, which is just a fantastic combination. You put Wally Wood with anybody, and it makes me happy. But it was really neat to see Steve Ditko with Wally Wood. And the first issue, I think his first issue is probably prettier. And that one's right here. So I'd recommend the first issue as well.
I have never seen this comic.
Oh, Destructor is awesome. So Destructor is a little like Spider-Man, and then but this time it's kind of a punk jerk kid who keeps messing around with the mob, and his dad is a scientist who's trying to create a superhero serum, and the kid ends up getting shot by the mob, and then the dad gives him the serum to save his life, and then the dad gets killed by the mob right after he gives the serum. And the serum gives the kid kind of like he's Wolverine without the claws. So he's got like a healing power, and then he's got all his senses and blobbity bloobity blue. And but then he's got the whole Spider-Man great power, great responsibility baloney thrown in, and it's just terrible. But it's pretty. And Archie Goodwin was Archie Goodwin.
Yeah, Archie Goodwin, Wally Wood, Steve Ditko. That's a heck of
The
a team.
reason I like issue 2 is that the villain, Death Grip, which is horrible, is a blatant copy of Peter Lorre's character in the 1935 movie Mad Love, where in it he kind of, for a brief part of the movie, he disguises himself as this character Rollo, who has had his hands cut off.
Wow.
And his head cut off, and it's one of the most creepy, character moments especially from noir and 30s cinema, and there's him with his hat off, and you can see the disguise to make it look like his head was reattached to his body. Mad Love's fantastic. Peter Lorre's this is Peter Lorre finding out that he was in a comic book in 1975 from Atlas. So there's and of course you wonder, how does it end? Spoiler alert, it doesn't end well, but I think he gets flattened, it looks like, in a junkyard.
Well, you've given me a comic and a movie I need to track down here.
Oh, I wanted to do there we go, that's the. But the first 2 issues, Ditko, Wally Wood, inking. The 3rd issue, I think, is just Steve. So who knows where Walter Wallace Woody went? But Atlas line, a very short-lived company. Their books are just fantastic because they're just so gosh darn weird. But there you go. That's our pick of the week. Good old Ditko, double Ditko. But this has led to our newest segment, which promises to be horrible, which is Joe's letters to Steve Ditko. Oh, so let's just explain briefly that Steve Ditko did not want to be in the public. He did not want people coming over. He did not want to be bothered. He didn't want to do autographs. He didn't want to do anything. He wanted to be left alone. But if you wrote Steve, Joe, what would happen?
Steve would write you back. Yes. So that was pretty well known in fandom. And so back then, sometime around probably like 2010, I'd have to look at the dates on my letters. I bet it's like 2010, 2011. I corresponded with him. I think I have 6 letters from him, 5, 6. I don't know. And so the first one, Dave's going to show you guys here in a second. The first one, I wrote just a short little letter to him and inquired if there was.
Let's just warn people what this segment is, because it's not a good idea at all. But what we're going to do is we're going to do we're dramatic readings, celebrity guest readings of Steve Ditko's letters to you. Some are very short, some are like 3 pages long, but we've got guest celebrities, mystery guests, who are going to read. So you're going to reenact your letter to Steve, and then we're going to have a kind of dramatic reading of Steve's letter to you. All right. So, okay. All right. So
letter number one.
Letter number one.
I just wrote just kind of a brief generic letter to him, hoping to get a response. And in part of my letter, I inquired about these modern comics that he had been working on, and I inquired if there was anywhere I could purchase art from those comics.
Okay. This is we're gonna get this. Dear Joe, no original art for sale. Regards, SD. Wow, that was a letter. That was a fantastic letter from Steve Ditko.
Let me tell you what, I was pretty excited to pull that out of my mailbox. I remember the day it arrived.
Wow. But that one was really short, and I think we should cheat. And I think this week we should do 2 letters. Okay. So the second letter, set it up what the second letter was. What did you ask? What did you say to Steve?
Okay, so the second letter is actually not the second letter I got from him. We're going out of order. I think it was like the 5th letter, but I was taking a trip to New York City, part of a trip I was going to be in New York City. And so I threw it out there and inquired about what the possibility would be of stopping by and seeing his studio.
Okay. And here we go.
Dear Joe, no, visits are interruptions, disruptive and unproductive. Experience has taught me that there are no real benefits to be gained with a visit. Regards, Steve Ditko.
Wow. That was a fantastic letter from Mr. Steve Ditko.
Right to the point, and a beautiful signature.
Yeah, beautiful signature. Well, that's congratulations. We'll try to do that next week, and we'll hit up some more guest celebrity letter readers to really nail home the point of the majesty that is the Steve Ditko letter. All righty. Well, now this weekend we just got back from Gem City Comic Con. We're gonna have let's bring on our buddy Andy Bennett here, who's also tired and was also a guest at Gem City Comic Con. We'd like to also say a big thank you to our buddies at Rhinegeist. Our buddies at Rhinegeist kept us happily drinking this weekend. So, Joe, you missed out because normally when we come home from conventions, we don't have beverages. But now we have a new sponsor, Rhinegeist.com.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good stuff. In fact, Andy, I'm going to try what is this? An RGB? It's a Bubbles. Oh,
sounds fruity.
Sounds refreshing.
I think now I have to keep drinking this all night.
Yeah.
Oh man. Woo. Anyway, so we had our Gem City fun, and we figured we'd just touch briefly on the fun weekend we have. Which, by the way, a big thank you to Jesse. Glad you were standing in there, Jesse, and our buddy Billy and Amanda and everyone, Izzy and everybody running the show. We had a blast.
Yeah, they do fine work over there.
We always have a good old time, and it's always great to see everybody in Dayton, all the people that come out and all the fans that come by to say hi to us. Let's see, real quick. Let's see, this were a couple of commissions I did for the show. Somebody wanted a Deathstroke Slade Wilson, and somebody wanted Gordon, little David Lynch. Some Twin Peaks action there. I'm always up for that. We had lots of space. So, baby, I took advantage of it. That was a lot of fun. And we had the Saturday night drink and draw. So for charity. So I did a little grow. Called him Gizmo. That's Gizmo because they got pissed off. There's my number one fan, Timmy, who decided to take home a original Flash Gordon Buster Crab drawing. Thanks a lot, Timmy. I appreciate that. And here, this is me. Now, my buddy Billy got to buy an original Guy Williams Zorro costume from the Disney TV show. So I got to be Zorro today for about 5 minutes. It was embarrassing. But, oh, man, it's a signed Zorro mask. Says Amigo Guy Williams Zorro 1965. And, boy, look at me. Couldn't be happier. For that brief moment, I was Zorro. That's right. I did not try on the rest of the costume. I felt that would have been a little much, but maybe later. So, yeah. And we hung out with our new best buddy, comics legend Bob Hall. And Bob has agreed. I don't know if Bob agreed what he knows what he agreed to do, but he's agreed to be on the show at some point.
He didn't say no. That's what he did.
Oh, no. Bob actually offered without being asked. So
he's already a fan of the show, I guess.
That's saying a lot for how great Bob is. So we salute you, Bob, and the Daryl Banks is also. So we're going to have some comics talk later in the month of August, hopefully. And Joe, what the hell happened here?
Oh, well, this was one of the big draws for me at the Gem City Comic Con this year. That is professional wrestler Al Snow, known for being a former hardcore champion in the WWE. And so he is part of this group that they are doing comic books based on sort of his wrestling personality. So I bought the 2 comics. Here it is. It's signed by Al Snow, along with another a wrestler, Chavo Guerrero Jr., who appears in the story, as well as the creators. And then here is the second issue, or actually, I'm not sure the order, which one is first and which one is second. But this, I bought a sketch cover version of it there with a drawing of Al Snow. So that is
going to ruin the show with wrestling, don't you?
There's always a little bit of a wrestling connection, you know.
Now, we would like to say, for the record, on behalf of Andy and I know Andy loves it when I speak for him, but we would love to say that Gem City Comic Con does not bring in celebrity guests. So technically and officially, and of course, this isn't a lie, Al was there as a comics guest.
Absolutely, yes.
Which is similar to when, what was it, DMC was at Heroes Con? Technically not a celebrity guest. He was writing comics.
That was fantastic.
Yep. So, and I don't really want to ask, but I feel I have to. What's up with the head?
Oh, well, the head is named Head, and Head is part of his wrestling gimmick. You can see here the title of the comic is The Ballad of Al Snow and Head. And you can see, I'm glad you asked, my comic here is even autographed by Head.
Oh, I'm so glad I asked. Okay, so Andy, let's do a little. At the very last minute, we kind of grabbed a couple of cool things that Andy did over there. That was this ties in. It's a little more Ditko.
And
my more Ditko for you there.
My request that we would give Andy about 30 seconds to explain the origin and the purpose of the character here.
Yeah, we tried to do that at the show too, and we pretty much decided that it was not possible to explain to sane people.
But it is, I don't know if we said the name, Shade
the Changing Man. You just have to experience Shade the Changing Man to really get a handle on what's going on with this guy.
Good old Shade.
That was an unusual commission request, one I've never had before, but it was a lot of fun because it's just sky's the limit on the crazy stuff you can do with Shade.
He was wacky. I was kind of a little sad when they brought him back in the late 80s with kind of the pre-Vertigo, and they kind of ditched his univest and the Ditko-ness, and they just kind of made him a guy in a trench coat that was a little loopy.
They made it very Vertigo, and I gotta say, I still enjoyed that immensely on its own terms with the Chris Michello artwork and the what was Brendan McCarthy? Yeah, it's
Brendan McCarthy covers. Yeah, I like Brendan McCarthy, but I got to disagree, and I think this might mean the split of our relationship. That I didn't like it, so oh man, good thing we didn't talk about this over the weekend. But this was something that somebody picked up. This one turned out great. It's a Green Lantern squirrel.
Yeah, and speaking of odd requests, that's another one. The Green Lantern. Some people just think Green Lantern is the guy with the ring, but the Green Lantern is a whole squadron of beings, I guess, all over the universe, and every space sector has their own Green Lantern, and not all of them are human or even humanoid. And so this is I don't even know how. Yeah, it's the sequel to Chip. It's Bidge, So yeah, Alien Squirrel, Green Lantern.
There you go.
Kind of a loudmouth, Guy Gardner personality. It's pretty amusing stuff.
That's great.
Well, turned out great. And, what's next for us in our world tour of comic conventions this year is, I think we got September. We got Monroe, Michigan.
We got a double feature in September.
Monroe, Michigan, Cincinnati, Ohio.
That's right. We're there for Saturday only for the Monroe Pop Fest on September 16, I think.
Something like that.
And then Cincinnati Comic Expo the very next weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a big old 3-day blowout.
Which hopefully, maybe if we're lucky, will be brought to us by Rhinegeist. That's right.
Rhinegeist.
Rhinegeist.com. Oh, if you... Never mind. Anyway, well, I guess we did it. We were tired, and we did a convention, and we came back, and we limped through our 4th episode. And the sound, like my sound didn't cut out?
No, I think it was much better. Yes.
So I had sworn that if my sound cut out again, this show was over.
It was that close.
Over. Never to happen again. Even though Bob Hall and Daryl Banks said, we will be on your show. I said, if the sound cuts out, done. Next week, hopefully, we're going to have our good buddy Ben Lane, animator on The Simpsons and Disney, and I think even maybe like King of the Hill and Ben 10. So, and Joe, the other half of my Lounge Act, Ben Lane. So now you're interested.
All right.
The animation part, you were like, Simpsons.
It's incidental, yes.
But my Lounge Act.
Oh boy.
Yeah, now you've got questions.
So there probably won't be time for me to ask questions. It's probably what you're telling me.
Well, you'll be like, slow down. Let's make this an extra long special. Oh man. Well, Andy, it was a good weekend. We did some drawings. We talked to people.
Yeah, it was a great weekend. A great low stress getaway weekend. And
we also drank a lot of drinks.
I do enjoy Gem City Comic Con greatly, yes.
And we drank a lot of drinks, once again brought to us by Rhinegeist. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, it looks like, once again, Bluto's telling us goodbye forever. So, Andy Bennett, we will see you soon.
That's right.
Let's hear it for Andy Bennett. Goodbye, buddy.
See you, Andy.
Well, Joe, we did it. A 4th episode.
This was a comment about one of Adam's segments, but I think it's appropriate here to end the show with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other comment we got, which I think is appropriate from Polly, is that beer. And I just want to say once again, the beer was brought to us by Rhinegeist. You can check it out at Rhinegeist.com. I just like saying that. And I really, really want a sponsor. I really, really want a corporate sponsor for this show.
I think you're showing off your spokesperson chops. So I expect some, sponsors to be rolling in, contacting the show. I
want that sweet, sweet sponsorship money. Think of how great we could be with just $5.
Because all you're seeing so far is for free.
All right, Joe. Thanks again.
Good to see you, buddy.
Once again, I'm Dave Aikins.
I'm Joe Hollon.
All right. This is Dave and Joe are bored. We'll see you next week. Hopefully we'll be back Sunday at 9. And then again, this goes up on our YouTube channel, which I think the kids say you're supposed to like and subscribe, or they smash the like button. I don't know. I get tired by all of this. All right. It's been an hour 10. We've been around here too long. We'll see you, buddy.
All right. See ya. Thanks, Dave.
Bye.